That's my bad. You only love me when you're lonely. I forgot to grab the link. Duh. Let's do that. I probably should have clicked live before I did all this, but hey, whatever, dude. Oh, that's my voice. No, I don't mind at all. In general. Looking at baseball. You only love me when you're lonely. What's up, Haz? Yeah. Yeah, I want to get out the way. Yeah, and there's early games tomorrow, you know. And I don't mind at all. Yeah. What's up, guys? Happy Memorial Day. May 25th, 2026. I need to make a bet tab. Gotta wash off the filth, the stank of yesterday. Let's go subject. I kind of want to do this differently, but maybe I stick with what we had here. Subject, market, line, unit, notes. And I don't mind. No, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. You better right, Has. Today was kind of One of my favorite games got postponed. That sucked. All right, let's do that. All right, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you're a psycho, and I'm just doing live research, and I'm like literally starting from scratch, updating my spreadsheet, going game by game, and trying to create some first look thoughts, some raw reactions. This is stream number 3 or 4 now. You guys, a lot of you guys were during a live stream yesterday. We did that before the early slate on Sunday. I thought about doing that again tomorrow, but probably not. So yeah, different is bad. Okay. A couple of you guys did reach out to me about the membership package or investor package. I have a spreadsheet kind of set up right now, tracking that. Let's go bet sheet, and then a spreadsheet for the potential investors. If you guys want to be part of either, the interest in that in the next, I would probably say 2 days, will play a big part in whether or not we full send it or not. Want to full send it? But I've been saying it's got to make sense. So, I've been mulling over ideas for like the name of the brand, trying to get it to involve the word bet, but there's not a lot of domains with cool words attached to the word bet. And then of course I need to have that handle available on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that crap. So I am mulling that, but to me the name's not as important as the content in the community. So working on that. But anyway, added the email to the screen. A lot of you guys are like, dude, who uses X? That's my bad. You can email me, gundark@live.com, if you guys want to get access. I'll probably try and set up. I guess we could still use this old MLB Grind Discord, and then I need to start working on a new brand Discord if we start putting some legs on it and set up all those bots and whatnot. So, um, yeah, I'll keep plugging that. I'll keep plugging that. And right now the idea is to be bet centric, but um, the spreadsheet's still pretty tailored to DFS as far as including the pricing and whatnot. So still trying to find the identity and what people want, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So shout out to anybody that has been hanging out in the streams, engaging with the streams, thumbs upping the streams, and if we make that comeback, it's because of you guys that are randomly awake at midnight. First game we're going to look at is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Baltimore Orioles. Shane McClanahan keeping it going against the Orioles. I see a little bit of yellow in this one, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I did take a look at Kevin Roth's little page here, but it is the night before, so I don't want to speak on his behalf or assume things. But it didn't look like there was a ton to be worried about here, so hopefully we got a nice Memorial Day slate of action with minimal interruptions, but we shall see. Referencing that aforementioned page, yeah, I don't see like a ton of like scary rain red, right? So I'm just gonna assume we're Gucci. We'll take a look at I guess the Cubs are on the road, so that's fine. Okay, there is some rain here. There is some rain here. But being that game's scheduled for 1:30 Eastern, my early thought is that I would expect it to play even if it's with delay. Looking at other games here. Anything else got some red rain chance? No. So it looks like this is the trouble spot for the day. Cool. Haven't played KBO. You don't invest for KBO coverage. You do need investors, but whew. Whew. Is there any like average MLB player right now going crazy in the KBO? Just out of curiosity, like who? I'm trying to think. Um, man, I don't know who. I don't know. Let's look at the number one team's roster, huh? Or can we? I don't know. Let's just go look at a game, a box score. Or we can't do nothing. Okay, no. KBO rosters. The Doosan Bears. Jun Ho. Okay, there's a lot of choice. Bin Guac. Dude, could you imagine me doing a stream trying to say these names, bro? That's no disrespect. That's just all me being a dope. Anybody we recognize? I want to see. It's you used to see like Dan Straley's go over there and B Kershaw. Victor Mesa's full name is Victor Mesa Rios. Victor. That sounds lazy. Adam Aller. Okay. I thought that was Jung Ho Park, or is it? What happened to Jung Ho Park? Which is Guillermo Heredia from the Phillies. There we go. We got one. Or am I an idiot? He was on the Phillies, right? Guillermo Heredia, Phillies. I might be an idiot. Was there a different Heredia? No, he was. Yeah, 2020. That wasn't even his last team though. Huh. Yanni Chirinos, he was on the Tampa Bay Rays a long time ago. I think he was like one of the original or early opener into reliever types. Austin Dean? Yo, wait, isn't that A Dean? Yo, A Dean's in the KBO? Hold up. Victor Reyes? Dude, they don't load none of these teams up with a bunch of Matthew Davidson. Was he on the Cubs or am I just racist? I might just be racist. Or the Giants? I don't know if Davidson, MLB, Matt Davis. Okay, he added unless it's a different guy. That seems like a real common name. All right, and lastly, the Samsung Lions. Jack O'Loughlin. One of these things is not like the other. All right, so it doesn't look like they're getting dominated by former average MLB players. Sam Hilliard leads the league in homers. That's great. What's up, Poden? Podegen. Dude, I feel like all these years I've been calling you Pogen Stoner, and I just realized it's Podegen Stoner. Did you change that, or am I having a Mandela effect right now? Appreciate you stopping by, though. All right, let's slap a yellow on here. We got Shane McClanahan. He's looking pretty doggone good. Coming back now from years of a break, but 26% K rate, picking up where he left off. 12.5% swing and strike rate. The sample size is still a little bit small, but everything's looking good, and that's what you want to see if you're the Rays and a Rays fan. And this Orioles team, since the beginning of last year, a lot of mediocre to very less than mediocre WRC pluses against lefties. So one of those spots where I'm not. There's no one I want to go crazy with on the Orioles side. I'm not nothing to say like this is a smash. Gotta play. The weather from this far out has me trepidatious, so I'm not gonna attach myself to K props and whatnot for McClanahan. But inversely, Kyle Bradish, 1.5 WHIP, 407 on the expected ERA. He's got a walk problem with the lefties and righties right now, so I guess he's having a lot of command issues. We got some walk rates here to be worried about. Aranda, Richie Palacios. Um, like I'm looking at enough respect to both guys that I think we could entertain the thought of a nerfy. But again, the I don't know, dude. There's a lot of strikeout in this Orioles lineup since the beginning of last year. 26% K rate to lefties. I gotta know if we just shorten the sample size to this season alone, have things changed. It might be one of those keep an eye on weather, and if the weather opens up, maybe we could dabble with McClanahan. But I'm assuming a guy like McClanahan opens up at 7 strikeouts if we want something close to um, even money, right? Baltimore is 7th in the K rate to lefties so far. So we might not even have a line here because of the rain. But we'll see how we do. It's at 6. 6 is minus 134. I like that right now. I'm a little bit worried about the rain. Like I said, they got all day to get it going. But, I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. So I might put an asterisk on that, but I might put that on the list, right? If we get this lineup, I'm in there. Let me see, McClanahan. And by the way, um, yeah, almost a 30% CSW. So I expect a pretty righty heavy lineup for the Orioles as well. So Let's focus on lefty versus righty pitches. That Reds rain out was very hurtful for the dude. Yeah, I had a lot of Burleson and Weatherholt. Um, Riley Green got me. I had a 5 or 6 pick prize picks card. Two got rained out. Freddie and Kyle Tucker got there, which I don't know if you guys remember the live stream, but I was like, what am I missing on this Dodgers run total and the stack being so cheap as far as props go? 38% on the changeup, 28% on the curveball. How's this O's team grade against those breaking ball off speed pitches? Is McClanahan's changeup coming in as a splitter on Fangraphs? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. On time for anything. Look in her eyes. All right, let's go Shane McClanahan. Market strikeouts. Line, I'm going to go 6. 6 is nice. 6, 7. That's on me. Weather risk. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. We'll leave that as the note. Dude, Dalton Varsho, man. Ah. I was on this tangent the other day, man, and this is purely like gut, right? It's just like there's some people that seem to never come through for you. There's some people that seem to always come through for you. Dalton Varsho, man. I don't feel like he's been coming through for me. I do know that Vladdy got injured behind him, but I don't know if there was game script behind that that I could point at and blame. Let's go 25 and 11 and a half. It's the walk rate for McClanahan we want to mess with. Let's go 9. Beautiful, crazy. 17 and a half. Dang, Shane's only at 15 outs, so I might be a little too amped for his K prop if we're only gonna get 5 innings out of him. Or yeah, 5 innings. So let's go 5. Crazy, beautiful to me. So McClanahan, what the freak did I just do? Oh, 5.9 Ks. All right, so that's actually really appropriate. I thought we might expect him to be more stretched out than this, but he's not. So let me just remove him from the board there. And the only thing that's like lurking with my mind right now is this potential nerfy. The thought process here being that Bradish's blemish right now is to righties, even with a 3.6 xFIP to lefties. Ground ball rate's good. You're just kind of worried about this column, right? If you're walking lefties, especially since there's some history to this, since the beginning of last year, a 12% walk rate to lefties. If you get that lead off Chandler Simpson and you give him a free base, you know that's kind of hard to strand. So that's my worry. Chandler's not a big walk guy, but But that's what he, man. He's a manufacturer once he gets on. So I'm a little bit interested in the Nerfy, but I'm gonna I'm gonna stay away from that for right now. See if something else comes out. 90 pitches max so far for Shane. Only one game of 6 innings. All right, so I'll trust the line there and stay away from going. One Fangraphs metric has him tracked as having a splitter instead of a change. Everyone else calls it a changeup. I noticed Fangraph historically is kind of been in their own lane sometimes when it comes to grading pitches. I feel like Baseball Savant's the way to go for that. All right, let's move on to the next game here. We're going to Pittsburgh. Beautiful PNC Park. Nice new set of series here. And what mostly what I'm looking for is I'll get rid of all this ugly weather, man. We're trying to launch a company here. Weather effing us up. How can we Photoshop screenshots, bro? All I got, baby, I could die. Benjamin Brown taking on Carmen Mlodzinski. It's our pitching matchup. 74 degrees out there in Pittsburgh. So I feel like this summer is taking forever to start for much of the country. Heck, even in Texas right now, it dipped to the 70s. This little end of spring rain rush we tend to have every year. But we've seen a lot of games on the East Coast and Northeast be in the 50s and 60s. So 70s, 80s, we're starting to get there. We're starting to get there. Cubs a 4.2 run total, Pirates a 4 run total. Glaring weaknesses of either pitcher. Well, the 4.64 expected ERA for Mlodzinski kind of speaks to me. A sub 8% swing and strike rate. Does have a 20% K rate. Not striking out lefties as much as righties. A 327 average allowed with the 4.4 xFIP. We've been seeing PCA in that leadoff spot. Maybe this is a good spot for him to tap into that, right? And then Michael Busch is also another guy we can dip into a high OPS, and maybe get behind. Are we gonna be super warm and fuzzy about either? But no, I would say if we do get a 1-3, or even both guys in the top four, those are guys we could look at to get into some Mlodzinski action. Ben Brown, a 30.5% strikeout rate to lefties. That's 10% better than his K rate to righties. He's pretty good overall to both sides. Elevated line drive rate to lefties so far, but a sub 20% hard contact, just a 4% barrel rate. This is not the Ben Brown I remember. I mean, the last 2 years, an aggregate 11+% barrel rate. I really think we got to do a case study here and see what Mr. Brown's doing different, because that's a pretty significant change. First thing we're gonna look at is what was his weakness last year with expected slug. 674 expected slug on his fastball last year, down to 287 this year. Velo's at 96.6. Last year, 95.9. So his average velo is up. And like I said, it's been kind of cold. So wonder if he's adding to it lately. Meaning, some pitchers gain a mile an hour a month and a half into a season. So we'll look into that. If I can find, there we go, game log. Game log, velocity. Fastball's been sitting at 96 plus, so he has found a little more zip on the fastball. 2-2-2, another 1-2 on the spin. Not much of a difference. The whiff rate actually went down, but they're not squaring it up like they used to. A 1-degree launch angle last year was at 17 degrees. Wonder if there's a arm angle adjustment I mean, yeah, he dropping 6 mile an hour on the average exit velo. All right. Knuckle curve, the number two. That's his big whiff pitch, and then 30% on his 3 and 4. Um, I'm interested here. I feel like I've been pitching against the Pirates the last 2 days with actually that's not true. I was pitching against the Pirates yesterday in theory with Dylan Cease. Now he ended up getting some strikeouts, didn't go that deep, and he started pretty rough, but Ben Brown could be interesting. So before we get outs, let's get a strikeout projection. First of all, projected lineup is going to serve up 4 righties, so kind of half and half. And do we think we're going to get some more strikeouts out of his righty splits? Even if we don't, he's not wasting pitches. He's got a good ground ball rate. Something to keep an eye on. Let's put him at 26 and a little bit of a walk rate to lefties too, but that's not a big issue. Yeah, it is a little bit of an issue, huh? My boy Brandon Lau. Let's go 26 and 7. 6, 7. Carmen 20 and 7.8. Outs 15 and 15. Dandelion. White Sox player probably best filled again. Yeah, I feel like I was walking around the Miguel Vargas homer, and I think he did homer. He slowed his temp down. Okay, Jake with the we had to get Jake in here one night. Dacker, you said you like Keystone series. Dude, I thought you would ask me if I like beer and such like Landman. Have you been binge watching Lioness? Dude, y'all don't understand. My life has been crazy. I haven't had the opportunity to binge watch anything since a winter storm earlier this year. I want to binge watch Marshalls and the other Yellowstone spinoff. That's like at the top of my list. Otherwise, whenever I get some time to watch stuff, I don't have like a lot of commitment. So I'll watch like an episode of Kill Tony in lunch breaks throughout the week. Um, or sometimes me and uh me and my old lady will watch like true crime docs and make fun of people, but haven't had the chance to sit down and binge watch a new show yet. Hopefully things start settling down soon and I can kind of squeeze that in the schedule, man. But I mean, I've been feet to the floor running for Jesus. Feels like all year, but at least two months without a real R&R day. So with only 5 innings projected for both pitchers here, what kind of strikeouts did it give me for Ben Brown? 5.3. I would assume he's got to be at 5 on Vegas then. 6 plus is plus money. 5 is almost 200. Dandelion. So with Brown not going deep, seems pretty efficient. He's working on it, huh? 82 pitches in his last outing. Do we try to get cute here and outthink Las Vegas, Nevada? 25 pitches on the 4th. 46 pitches 4 days later. 65 pitches the next outing. 85 pitches. So almost has added 20 pitches per game. 7 hits against Milwaukee is crazy. Do you guys think we can project him to throw more pitches? Get to a 6th inning outing? Get to 6 Ks? Also, Jake, what do you think about this thought? Um, Looking at the season now, one thing in my experience as a baseball analyst, pitchers, especially bullpen pitchers, tend to have better results in short stints. Meaning, you look at Ben Brown's start to the year, 3 innings, 2 innings. Like, there's probably not many times in his first 70% of the season, 60% of the season, where batter saw him more than once in a game until last week. Now the strikeouts are still there, but are we potentially dealing with an artificial inflation because of short bursts? You know what I mean? 5 Ks against the Phillies there in 2.1. Still, let's go back to that game log here. So Milwaukee was his longest outing, right? So his average fastball velocity was actually his highest of the year, almost up there, not the highest. Stuff plus that game, 101. That's not crazy. But you see some of this like crazy stuff plus numbers. A lot of that's coming from the 2 inning outings. But when you throw some more work at him, he's an aggregate under 100 or at 100 in 4 games. So we might have a little bit of fool's gold there. I'm willing to like entertain both sides here, but I did want to explore that thought. Brown's changeup is different as well. He changed the changeup to mimic the kick change. That Bird song, Hayden Bird song. Okay. You like that Frontier series? Only 6 shows a season. It's like American Primeval, but in Canada, the fur trade in the 1700s. Ah, okay. Hopefully, I could do it. I yearn for just like an ability to sit down and binge watch something right now. Okay, so I'm kind of feeling like his K prop is priced correctly. The only thing I might be interested in, but I can't grab it on Kalshi, but maybe Prize Picks or maybe a book that offers outs, because it does look like he's trending to getting stretched out, and Ben Brown's been a starter before, so maybe there's some hope. I don't say hope, but maybe you could um get into his outs. Like if you can get his out prop at 15.5 right now. I'm trying to check Prize Picks on a side screen. Let me open it over here. He said, "Baby, you should know that's what I want." 14. They're still calling him an opener, by the way. Wait, oh no, they're not. Mizorowski projected opener. So you can get demon odds at 15.5. That's be something I'm curious with. See if they're intending on stretching a Ben Brown pitch count. Stretched out. A little bit intrigued with the thought of over on his outs. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Barrel rate is way down and average launch angle is basically into the ground. Yeah, and like I said, if we look at I don't know. Like I think Savant has a. Hmm. A lot of red here. That's what you want. I'm not gonna jump off the train here, but I am. It is something to watch. Is as he gets stretched out to a starter. What are we thinking there? So okay, so with Ben Brown here, we're dealing with some risk and some questions on pitch count. If you look at his last two outings, it does look like he's trending in a direction of being stretched out. If we look at the recent Cubs bullpen usage, I guess we'll have to see what they did yesterday. It's not updated yet. Yeah, I gotta get my gaming PC back, bro. This is so minimal usage out of the pen. They got a quality start out of Imanaga, then Ethan Roberts, Phil Maton, and Tybar. So this is more of a hunch than anything. But I'm interested in the over on outs because my thought is maybe we can get to that sixth inning against the Pirates. And then on prize picks, maybe that opens up his fantasy score because we might sneak a win here, but also get the quality start. Um, doesn't look like we have fantasy points props yet, but I assume their fantasy points not going to apply for the win, right? So just out of curiosity, if I put him at 18 outs, 6.4 Ks, comes back as 29 FanDuel or Prize Picks fantasy points. That's without the quality start. Now with the quality start at 33. So if Prize Picks sets their line based on 5 innings, their line's probably going to be sitting around 26, 27. Oh wait, that's incorrect. I just screwed up. Their line should be around 25, 26. So that'd be something I would keep an eye on. Then Mladzinski, 4.64 expected ERA. So I think we already said we'd kind of take a look at PCA and Michael Bush. Not really super excited here. So a couple things that I'd lean. I'm not going to commit it to the sheet. That I would lean from where I'm at right now. There's maybe quarter arcade, Ben Prize Picks, fantasy, Ben over 15.5 outs, and maybe a Nerfy, and then PCA Michael Bush. Um, there was a thought that I just had and I lost it. Yeah, but all that is hunches, right? I like to keep the board as tight as possible. I might start stretching like a quarter unit sheet a little bit more as we evolve whatever we're doing here. But the front sheet, I like to be 1 unit bets that we really feel good about. And there's enough pushback and all that here. So let's matriculate on to the next one. Cardinals at the Brewers. Mizorowski. They narrowly postponed and said we out of here. No weather for the Cardinals to deal with today. Matthew Liberatore. I think we're going to have some leans in this one, just based on what I'm typing so far. All right, the first thing that stands out to me is there is almost a 1.5 run differential between Cardinals and Brewers. The other thing that stands out to me is one of these guys is Jacob Mizorowski, and the other guy is not. So that's always good. Liberatore is really struggling to get to both sides of the plate out right now. Has a kind of ridiculous, maybe unsustainable home run per nine to lefties right now, a 4. That doesn't seem like that's right. A 10% barrel rate in line with what he was doing last year. The batted ball data on that lefty home run per nine is backed by a 24% line drive rate and a 44% hard contact rate. Something's not right there. Expect that to come down. But what we can do is say that, hey, this guy's been pretty porous against righties for 3 years running, an aggregate less than 20% K rate to righties. Um, and an aggregate 1+ home run per nine to righties. This year it's down, but again, might be a small sample size thing. It's not like he's down extremely, but also maybe a Busch Stadium boost here. So let's go look at Liberatore. Dude, Teddy Swims is so good. Just shout out Teddy Swims. Can I get a mod to shout out Teddy Swims in chat? That'd be great. All right, Liberatore. He's got a million pitches. It's one of those guys. What am I looking at, bro? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitches. Got the white you Darvish, and you still suck somehow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Um, I was trying to see what the problem. I mean, 573 expected slug on the number one. It's not what you want. Last year, that was at 551, 11% whiff rate. So you can't really get to your secondary pitches if your number one is not getting you ahead in counts and delivering. And that seems to be the story of my life. So Jackson Chourio, he's looking good. Chourio, by the way, we've kind of spotlighted this since he's come back. He's looking like the breakout Chourio. It's not enough qualifying at bats here, but a lot of red. Average exit velo, 20% barrel rate, 51% hard hit rate. That's what you want. So we liked him against Justin Robleski for similar reasons. And this is kind of the same situation. A contact lefty going to dare you to put the ball in play. So I love the thought of Chourio right off the rip. So let's stress out some bets here. Let's start with Chourio. Let's put pitcher projection in. 19% for Liberatore. Dude, 39% K rate. It's just disgusting. Just disgusting. I'm gonna tax him 37, otherwise he's gonna break everything. 5. Let's go 7.5. 7.5. 7.5. Let's go look at outs. That's strikeouts. 9. Dude, brother's at 9. He's just not normal. Can't wait for him to be a Yankee. It's gonna be great. $17.5 and 15. Let's do 4 there. By the way, I'm just gonna give him the 18. 18 spits back 7.5 Ks. I'm not betting against Mizorowski, but I will bet against Matthew Liberatore. So let's start with Jackson Chourio. Let's go HRR. I'm gonna say 1.5 is the line. We're gonna go to Kelsey. They should have Churio, just because they tend to have like one or two guys from teams, and it's usually like the common popular ones. Miss Slider averages almost 95. He's terrible and will somehow steal my money. All right, player props here. We don't have Churio yet, so we'll reference the DK board. That is homers, and I'm an idiot. I was like, dude, 4,900? I'm in. Oh, yeah, they're right off the rip. He's taxed 163. So, how do we do this? I'm going to do what I did the other day with Jackson Churio. We're going to do. We're going to buy an expensive 1 unit. And then half a unit. So it's not quite the quarter arcade, but I'm there on the over 3.5. And then what does this do for the bomb detector at a Churio? Churio. Is that a 15%? I'll stay away from that, but I like the odds here of. And by the way, this Cardinals bullpen is pretty trash too, right? They didn't play yesterday, little reset button, but they did have a doubleheader the day before. But I love Churio. We love Mizorowski, so I think positive correlation here is what about some Brewers first five? It felt like yesterday Kalshi's given us value when it comes to first five money lines. Today not so much, but 58 cents is what you got to pay if you want it. I kind of want it. So we're going to go Brewers first five. And we'll go 1 unit there. And I tell Jake with this. Now you guys don't have to tell this 1-to-1, but I kind of like Jake was saying. I pay. I say 1 unit, but it's for me. It's to get 1 unit back. So positively correlates Churio with Brewers first five. Mizorowski, I really don't think he's gonna have any prop that isn't super juiced at this stretch, so I don't need to get there. And then if I was thinking DFS wise, I'd probably look at William Contreras and maybe Andrew Vaughn. Vaughn has incredible lefty splits, but it makes me wonder if he's a 4 at bat guy. Also, did Vaughn pop up in a bomb detector? Yeah, he's above Churio, but these guys are not as high as I would expect with those type of batted ball. But 444. Maybe. Maybe. And then William Contreras. Since the beginning of last year, his overall average to lefties hasn't been good. But I want to say this year, he's been better. Half sweet. Yeah, batting over 300 this year against lefties. 4 bombs. Let's see what we're looking at as far as BABIP. 313 BABIP. It's got really high BABIP to righties too. 192 WRC plus this season against lefties. So I'm a little bit interested in throwing William Contreras as the positive as a handcuff to Churio, right? The thought process: Churio gets on, hits a leadoff double, and Contreras gets him in. We got a 14% walk rate as our snake eyes. What's it gonna cost? Jesus, 146. All right, maybe we look at the fantasy points on that. That is currently non-existent. Cool. Let's refresh one more time. Fuck me for right now until um yeah, we gotta wait for that board to develop tomorrow. So I'll type in the notes. Maybe handcuff to Contreras. And we'll leave it at that. Wrong brother. Oh, I put. Wait, what did I just do? Did I look up Wilson? Am I an idiot? Dude, that's how they get you. Good catch. Watch William be just dog water. Yeah, 245 average. Yo, could we trade that actually? Mm, 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 mm. All right, we'll leave that as a maybe. I think when we're overpaying for juice lines like that, I'll take Churio, but Contreras has enough here for me to be a little bit pessimistic here, right? But you want to put something with it. We'll see if maybe they put Andrew Vaughn a little bit higher, specifically for this matchup. I feel like I would. And we'll see what kind of southpaws out of the Cardinals bullpen we might be looking at. Jojo Romero, Justin Brule. All right. We'll see if they move Vaughn up a little bit. I might get sold on that. But give me Churio first five. Yeah. And then do we have earned runs for Liberatore? It's at 3.5. If it wasn't just like Andrew Vaughn and Jackson Chourio looking like the most obvious, I'd be in there. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. Maybe not correct play, but rather Chourio 2 runs at 500, then risk 2 at 177 or 3 at 125. So you think he scores twice? Yeah. I mean, if you're just trying to squeeze value, that's that's I don't know. I don't know what the true probability of that is to comment on that. But if you're just looking to squeeze value, go for it. You saw Zebby's props. Uh-oh. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Wait, did I put projections, yeah? Liberatore came in at 4.32 strikeouts, by the way. We got Zebby. Anthony K. Every parlay begins with K. Did the Twins play yesterday? They were in Fenway, right? I don't even remember if my brain. I guess everyone played yesterday. The only game that got postponed was St. Louis, yeah. My freaking brain. My brain literally hurts. I've been having like this sinus infection, and I never get sinus infections, and I've just been having this pressure. Like it feels like liquid in my head. Maybe it's not sinus infection and I'm dying, but I'm going with sinus infection. But it might be a tough week for that, so maybe maybe I shouldn't claim that. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch. Anthony K taking on Zebby Matthews. 4.4 run total for the Twins. Up against the White Sox, 4.3 run total. Coin flip here. Zebby Matthews, what is going on here? 13 innings of sample. He's looking like a new man versus what we saw the last 2 years. 4.5 xFIP against righties. What's going on here? Did he face like a lineup of all lefties or something? Like what? What is this sorcery? Zebby Matthews. Houston and Miami. Houston's like all righties. Sometimes all I think about is you. 6 innings against lefties. 7 innings against righties. BABIP against righties is 250, 182 against lefties. Okay, so he's good against lefties. That may come into play with Colson Montgomery and Murakami. If we like over first 5 innings, hopefully Churio is part of that. No. I'm not betting the over on first 5 innings. I'm backing the Brewers to win the first 5 innings. And the correlation is, I think Churio is the guy. Maximum at bats, hopefully, for him to produce. Sometimes all I think about is you. Got a question for you guys. When it comes to baseball player splits, how do you feel about day versus night splits? Obviously, I don't feel like we can really substantiate it metrically. But I also feel like some players like at night better than daytime. Daytime, deal with the suns, deal with the shadows, stuff like that. I'm not saying that. Some players have pretty stark differences in their production between the day and the night. Murakami has had 15 less at bats in the daytime than at night. His daytime batting average is 146, a 341 slug, and a 624 OPS. You turn the light switch on, and sun goes away. 320 average, 711 slug, and a 1 dot OPS, and 12 bombs. Part of that. Just that it's just one of those things that exist that make you go, You think like BVP it's useful? So again, I'm dang sure not a BVP guy from a data standpoint, right? Like I just don't believe in quantifying such short sample size. I feel like you get more sample on day versus night anyway. But I also believe there's a human side of it. Like the players will be like, I own this guy owns me. Like you hear some of these guys talk on podcasts now. So that does exist. You just can't quantify that with data for projections. You know what I mean? So that just becomes narrative leans. I don't know where day versus night splits fall in that. Just put it out there. Um. Anyway, so Zebby Matthews looks really good in his 7 innings against lefties so far. I think I might just be um about to talk in circles, but are we one? Do we think that's sustainable? 43% K rate, probably not. How did that happen? And is there a reason for this, or is that just short sample anomalies happening? So we'll look at Zebby's work thus far against lefties. 42% usage on the fastball with just 35 pitches tracked. 204 expected slug. Last year, that same pitch netted a 585 expected slug. Spin rate's actually down, and the velocity is as well. Nothing makes sense. Launch angle 32 degrees. Last year, 27 degrees. Um, and then last year, his expected slug on basically every pitch was kind of stupid. This year, not so much. And Jake, what do you got? Because I can't just, I don't have a reason for it, and I feel like this just might be short sample anomalies. Like I say, Houston has Jordan. I think that's their only lefty, and then Miami would have gave you like Liam Hicks, Xavier Edwards, Jacob Marcy, Kyle Stowers. Did Miami just juice up this guy's lefty metrics? I feel like that's the way I would lean. Is that it's fake. I think day versus night is more interesting park factor. Hmm. Definitely on like those marine layer games too, right? So we have the short sample lefty splits, the not short sample Murakami day splits. When we elongate our bomb detector here, now that involve Colson, Montgomery, and Murakami, Colson Montgomery comes in pretty high, 4.3 on the bomb detector with a 17% probability. He's actually slightly higher than Murakami, but the bomb detector doesn't care about day or night, strictly going off of beta ball data. So all that other stuff is arguably noise, but it's just stuff that I can't quantify in data. So with that said, if we believe that Zebby Matthews goes back to being what we had in the last 100 to 10 innings, Colson Montgomery looks pretty doggone good. Guaranteed rate field has been generous to homers to lefties. So maybe you could put a quarter on Colson. Um, and since we did Colson, I mean since we did Murakami, Colson, Montgomery, ESPN. Has Colson been better in the daytime? Uh, dude, what website's gonna open up daytime versus handedness splits, bro? That's what we need. That's what the people want. Nighttime this year, 500 slug, daytime 450, higher OPS in the daytime, 5 daytime bombs, kind of on pace with his nights, right? 8 and 106 at bats at night, 5 and 78 in the daytime. So if daytime is got you trepidatious and you're looking to throw a quarter on a home run prop, thinking Colson Montgomery is our guy. White Sox have been kind of kind of messing me up this week though. Anthony K. Look at these splits here. Lefty versus lefty, shut him down. Lefty versus righty, we're in trouble. Byron Buxton has entered the chat. Same game home run parlay right there. Mr. Buxton versus Colson Montgomery. Thoughts? Although Buxton's one of those guys, you'll almost never get him at well over 300 these days, right? So, and probably Colson Montgomery too. Isn't Colson Montgomery like up there for most homers since the break last year? But that's where we're at on that. Let's see. Let's do a pitcher projection here. Let's go 22.9, 5% walk rate for Zebby. And with K, we can hyper focus on his righty splits. He's gonna likely get Trevor Larnach, Cody Clemens. That's it. So we can lean more into this 11%. Did K have anything in the minors for us to believe that he's gonna be this bad long term against righties? Because I mean, you just can't be a major league pitcher with 185 whip is actually insane. What are you doing? No. Okay. So let's give him his two lefties. I'm gonna give him a 17.5% K rate. And give him a 8%, 8.5 walk, right? 17. I might even be generous here, but yeah. And then before I skip over, let's go Buxton. Buxton is already minus 139 for hits, runs, RBI. It's not crazy. And then minus 112 for Colson Montgomery. And then if we like him for a bomb, plus 161 for 3 hits, runs, RBIs. 1 homer covers that. And then let's go Buxton for a homer, 263. Ya mother. 328 for Colson Montgomery. So, yeah, you're paying taxes on Memorial Day if you want to get into that. But maybe you can SGP the two of them. I'm not. I'll take the safer lane here. Zebby is at 17.5 outs. Anthony K's at 15. Let's go 17 and 15 since that's where the juice is. K's, that gives me 5.7 and 4.7. And again, we gave them 2%, so I'm not betting them for K's. 80 degrees. Chicago coming in from the West Coast. That's a decent change, right? But I'm just kind of running through our mind if we want to deal with overs. I don't want to back either team first 5. I don't want to back either money line. I'm just looking at Colson Montgomery and Byron Buxton. Buxton more so feels, safer, right? Especially dealing with this. Austin Martin, handcuff potential here, 16% walk rate. And it's a sample on that. 78 at bats in the big leagues. Just one bomb. Is he getting unlucky with that? 359 slug? What's that about? 27% hard contact. All right. Austin Martin, MILB. See if there's anything here. I don't trust people with two first names. I also didn't think he would look like that, and I'm sorry for starting that sentence. Don't kill me, Aquaman. Holy crap, dude. Steven Adams from San Antonio. Delete that. um, against lefties, 327. Is this just the big leagues? Yep. Let's go last year. Hi, hi, hi. It's just a good piece of hitting guy. So if he finds himself in the top three, he might be our handcuff candidate. So let's bet sheet it up here. Let's go, Mr. Buxton. Hits, run, RBIs. I think I'm just trying to think if we want to go after the 2.5 too, or nah. Martin Dude could fill the stat sheet with stolen bases and walk. Dude, you loved him stolen bases. Buxton's at 59 cents. So less than 60 cents I can live with. Get a little plus money on the 2.5 too, though. So we could. I imagine he's going to go crazy in the bomb detector after. Not as crazy as I thought, but he's up there. 18% probability. Dude, Jonathan Aranda is way up here. What am I? If it did. Let's go. Let's do the same as we're doing with Churio. Unit on the 1.5, half a unit on the 2.5. This is just my. I'm a scare hoe. I don't really bet homers like that, and you're not getting value with that anyway. And then Colson Montgomery's piquing my interest here. Now, a guy like Colson, 30% carry rate, 237 average. I mean, that's a guy I'd be more likely to dabble with a home run prop, but he isn't priced at a spot where I'm like super intrigued. Yeah, I mean, like, Jesus, 26. Yeah. And I guess the other thing I would maybe consider here is maybe a Yurfee. Yurfee? That correlates well with Buxton. Maybe you get a Colson Montgomery in the first inning because you can. But I don't know. I want to know if this Zebby stuff is real or not. I just feel like it feels like the Miami Marlins suck and they really juiced his numbers. But how did he get 7 innings of sample that like that? Did he just 7 innings? So I mean that's what did Houston throw at him? Jordan Alvarez. Yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning that the Marlins juiced him up. So I'm somewhat intrigued in a yes run first inning. Somewhat. And it's a coin flip. That's the lean. I'm not gonna put it on the sheet. It's a lean though. But it's only because it's positively correlated. But I'm that's not a unit bet for me. Oh, Martin. Do we want to throw some Martin in the mix here? I think we do. Like I said, if we go with that yes one first inning, it's assuming that we're gonna get Martin and Buxton together. The rest of this lineup really sucks. I mean, WRC Plus is super down since the beginning of last year. And for Martin though, assuming that he is in the cleanup spot, I probably keep him around. I'll probably only do 1.5 on him, right? Out of the dirt off my. So let's go. Hits, runs, RBIs. Control F. Martin. He's almost even money for two. Why not? Austin Martin. 1.5. Let's go 1. Needs to be top. I'm gonna say 3. I want him to connect to Byron. I can still get to him at 3. You could still get to him in a cleanup spot for me to like it. We'll do that. Like it for runs. So I'll explain why I wouldn't be as confident in runs for Martin. Because his ISO isn't all that. I mean, it's got good OPS, but it's like his on base plus slugging, and the slugging looks to be not that high. It's his ability to draw walks and hit for a good average. And then if this is what's behind him, you're looking at 4 straight guys with sub 80 WRC pluses that you got to rely on to get him in. So if it were me and you're trying to isolate a running stat to bet, can you bet 1 RBI? Because I feel like that's a more likely handcuff to Buxton, because we're not really holding our breath for a bomb with his 140 ISO. Like, it's not impossible, but in this park that suppresses righty power, and just a 140 ISO is just like whatever. I'd be looking for him to have a RBI before a run. What's up, Judge homers the day I lay off. I mean, that was a pen homer too. I mean, that's not like a research bomb, right? I'll take it though. Judge is known for being clutch in clutch moments, so we should have known. We should have known. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Judge, Kansas, Yankees on the road. I mean, what a gem we got here. The Aces going at it. Will Warren up against Michael Wacha. I'm not a BVP guy, but I feel like Wacha might own Judge. Like I feel like Wacha was on the Rays and it was always trolling me with his numbers, but it could be somebody else and I'm just an idiot. Stay with me. Carter. Am I still the fastest typer in the analyst world? I feel like I gotta be up there. I'm pushing 40, but I think it's mostly soccer dads and stoners, man. I still gotta be up there, you know? 5.1 run total for the Yankees, 4.2 for the Royals. All right, just because I mentioned it, Michael Wacha, Aaron Judge, BVP. What the heck is this? Mariners, hello? Judge is 4 for 26 with 1 double, 13 strikeouts, 5 walks. Again, I don't care about BVP. That's just like a weird factoid I remember from being a Yankee fan. Yeah, okay, so Jake picked it up already. It's like I remember when he was in Tampa, and I was just like, why is this happening? It makes no sense. Waka, where can we pick on Waka? Well, ironically, power to righties. A 146 home run per nine to righties. So that's Aaron Judge. And that's all I got. There's not a lot of righty power outside of that when it comes righty versus righty. We like Goldie against lefties. Um, that's kind of it. So if you are anti BVP, go get you some Aaron Judge and Kaufman. Kaufman still playing pitcher friendly, 82 degrees out there. The 5.1 run total. They're expecting or they're pricing it for the Yankees to score some runs here. I'm not a big believer in Will Warren' ability to get lefties out. He's pushed that K rate up to 25%. He's doing just fine against righties. Um, if you if you want to tap into Carter Jensen's 231 ISO against righties and wanna I can't even say we're neutralizing his K rate because Warren smoothed it up to 25%. So I don't know, man. This game doesn't scream at me. What was I about to look up? I was about to look up something. We'll look up Will Warren's against lefties to see if we can explain this this improvement. What adjustments is he making against lefties? Because he's dropped that xFIP down a decent clip. The hard contacts come down. His barrel rate's almost cut in half. And you're pitching at Yankee Stadium, right? Those lefties hook them on you. Hello. There it is. I don't know what I just did wrong. Baseball savant. Will Warren. I yearn for the day that I'm bringing my other monitor flip back on. Give it back. There it is. So last year, what was the problem? What the problem is? Last year, a 659 slug with a sweeper to lefties. This year's sweeper is number 2 pitch against lefties. It's brought the expected slug is at 733. So that didn't get better. It's got a 419 expected slug on the fastball, 564 actual slug. Whiff rate is like whatever. Once you get down to the changeup and curveball, things get better. So you gotta get ahead in counts. Changeup has 7 strikeouts for him on a 19% put away percentage. It's gained 5% whiff on the fastball. Don't really know why. So I guess all that to say, you can still serve up power to lefties. Do you trust Vinny Pasquantino or Jack Caglianone or Carter Jensen? I think Vinny Pasquantino would be the most interesting one for me. I'm going to remove myself from the situation, the ballpark, and I think I'm just going to fade this. I mean, this Yankees lineup just looks pretty weak, man. We need Stanton back. A Nerfy is somewhat appealing to me, but I don't I don't want any action on that. What's up, Tall? Any batters to walk? Two legs come to mind. Batters to walk. I did not. I've not been looking for that, but real quick, I can look for you. Bradish has a 13% walk rate to lefties. Aranda's number one on the bond detector so far. You're probably gonna be careful with him. And Aranda has a 10% walk rate. That may be. Anthony K's walking righties at a pretty high clip. Austin Martin, we just talked about his high average, not swinging for power, 16% walk rate. He might be a walk candidate. And then I mean the entire Yankees lineup draws walks, but Mike Walker is just known for being a strike throwing efficient type of guy. 9% walk rate this year to lefties, which is not insane, but it is 3% higher than his rolling couple year average. So far there's not a ton I would go crazy with on walks. Austin Martin seems interesting. Like if you get a situation where Buxton's on second, you got one out, and you want to be careful with Martin, knowing the rest of the lineup's kind of weak. Maybe that's there, and maybe that's a hedge to Austin Martin. Uh, his runs, RBIs that we are already on. All right, I'm gonna move forward from that game then. Skip forward. Reds and the Mets. I did mute the desktop, right? Dude, I'm over here jamming the Spotify. You guys probably hear me singing. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna get like this entire stream muted from YouTube just for. All right, Reds on the road against the Mets, and the Mets are going through it, man. Losing Juan Soto. Not what you want. And then the Reds, a little bit of extra rest. Their game got postponed yesterday against the Cardinals. So coming off a doubleheader day, sorely needed reset button for their dominant bullpen. That's sarcasm. But Citi Field is not something I'm going to be running to load up on. Juan Soto, I guess Juan Soto could be clear. I know I didn't see him get put on IL, but I did see him leave that game hurt. And I don't think he played yesterday. So maybe he's back. And I just said all that for nothing. Nick Morabito. Morabito. All right. Nick Lodolo taking on Nolan McLean. 3.4 run total for the Cardinals, or excuse me, Reds. 4.3 for the Mets. Lodolo doesn't have a ton that we love. Ironically, his reverse splits this season, his high average allowed is kind of picking up where he left off last year. Although last year he didn't have a lot of hard contact to lefties. His barrel rate has jumped 10%, so that's only 15 innings. This has got to be just fun with short sample that we expected to come back down, but even if he goes back to what he did last year, the Juan Soto ability to hit lefties exists. This is 237 average since the beginning of last year, but almost 200 ISO and draws walks, and Lodolo's been walking at a high clip. I'm gonna assume I'm gonna end up not wanting much to do here, but we got nothing but time to dig a little bit. His curveball is his one against lefties. This pitch is a problem. Four seamer. He's thrown 8 times with a 4-dot slug. Is that good? One bomb. So, as suspected, it's a short sample thing that's kind of bugging Because you're going to rack up lefty v lefty a lot slower than lefty v righty. He might only have like, what do we say? He has 15 total innings. So, I mean, this could be 5 or less for lefty versus lefty. It's at 4.1. So yeah, we'll just chalk that up to small sample anomaly. But we can dig into the righty splits a little bit, and we know the last couple years, power allowed has been a thing. Now that is also a product of um, Great American Ballpark, so we could put him in City Field to see if he improves dramatically. So he gave up 22 bombs last year. If every game was in City Field, just 18, so loses 4 there, and this year he loses 2. He would give up 25 bombs in Citizens Bank, so don't do that. Gotta be honest, Mets and human dollars, not my favorite thing to put together. We do like Bo Bichette to hit for a decent average against lefties, get on in front of Juan Soto, chip in a chair type stuff. Maybe you can get into that. But there's nothing there that I want to attach myself to. Let's talk about Nolan McLean here. A lot of high ISO in the Reds lineup. Again, a lot of this could be juiced due to Great American Ballpark. You put them in a bigger park, especially these righties. You put them in City Field. Maybe we drop that. We lean more into the low averages and the decent to high K rates. A 25.21 aggregate K rate against righties since the beginning of last year lines up pretty well for Nolan McLean's 29.5% overall K rate. And he's got 58 innings of sample, 6.3% barrel rate. So let's dig around McLean and see if there's anything we want for his strikeout props. I have not done a projection for the Yankee game as far as pitchers go, so we also need to clean that up. So let's do that now since we're talking about strikeouts for McLean anyway. So let's go Will Warren 28 and 5.5. 28 seems high. Let's go 27, 5.5. Michael Waka 22, 7.5. Lodolo. I'm gonna stretch him back to where he was. Let's move him at 22 overall. His walk rate right now is just crazy. But again, small sample, so let's go 22. I'll give him 10, just pushing it. And then McLean, the more interesting guy for me here, 29.5 and 6.5. And now let's go run some outs. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 17.5 for Waka, 16.5. And then for Lodolo, 17.5, 17.5 with juice on the over there. So let's go 18 for McLean. Let's give him a quality start. So on 6 innings projection for McLean, we pull out 7 strikeouts against that projected lineup. So what's our K prop right now for McLean? It's god dang. It's minus 160 for the over 7. So you gotta get to 8 to get some plus money. So we're not getting a great deal on that. So we're not getting a great deal on that. There's a run differential between them. If you trust the Mets offense, I don't. If I had to put something on Mets to be how they score to justify a first 5 bet, it'd probably be Bo Bichette, Mark Vientos somehow. So I'm not going to attach myself to that officially, but if I had to run a game script in my head, that would be how that played out. We can run a Fangraph sim if we want. Just see if they agree as far as Vientos and Boba. I'm sure Soto draws like 2 walks or something in the sim. What am I clicking? Cincy. Yeah. I wanna fall in love. 406,397. I mean that's close. That's almost 4 apiece. So yeah, I'm not running to that. Boba and Mark Vientos are the two guys that have over one average hit. So if I wanted to force that, they also have they have Marcus Semien in there. So good to know that the computer agrees with my words. Morabito is rapid. Is he a fast guy? Faster? What is that? Is that a slur for fast people? It's fast, Jesus. See, like Henry Bolt. What does he do? What the heck is this? Let's get D-backs in the Giants National League West Showcase. Crazy start time, 5:05 on TBS Superstation. You know who I like and never got much play? Velma from Scooby-Doo. Yo, this guy's name is Tommy Troy. That's a good name. I mean, that's just a good name. Like you would have a beer with Tommy Troy. You're Trent McNeely. All right. Who has Twitter and seeing that these Giants outfielders are having way too much fun thrusting hips at each other? I don't want to cut a promo here. Any Giants fans? Because maybe I'm just, maybe I'm an old man. But like every day in the last week, I've been seeing the Giants catch a little buzz for thrusting hips. You know, they did the Key and Peele skit, and I clearly don't know how to operate the internet. There we go. So they beat the Chicago White Sox 10-3, and they're in the outfield. This is not the first time, but this is the Key and Peele sketch. I'm thinking, I think like a Yankees fan. You're 22-31, man. What are we doing? Am I shaking my fist at the clouds? Win games. Beat the White Sox. Merrill Kelly has a 15% K rate, 8.16 expected ERA. Not what you want. Giants are throwing Landon Roop. He's got pretty good numbers all the way around this year. 55 innings of sample size, 2.81 expected ERA, buck and 1.5 on the whip. He's walking lefties. You could do without that. The majority of your walks in this projected D-backs lineup is going to be 1, 2, 3, all lefties. So could put himself into high pressure situation right off the rip. Um, and his strength has been striking out lefties this year, which makes no sense. How do we gain 8%? Our swing and strike rate is the same. Interesting. Ground ball rate's elevated. You're not really picking on him for power, DFS, and really for prop betting. We like to go chase some power hits. So not a big power spot. D-backs are like 3.6 runs though. Like I'm maybe I over respect the D-backs here, but I'm kind of leaning that this lineup could. I'm just a sucker for D-backs. But this is just not a high K lineup overall. The guys that do strike out, but one of them is Corbin Carroll. Waldschmidt and Del Castillo, whatever. 3.5, man, as the road team. Little day game. I don't know. But I guess we'll put some respect on Roop's name for now. Keeping the ball on the ground here. Merrill Kelly certainly has been more porous to attack this year, and he's got a 3-year rolling sample size of high hard contact to lefties, high home run per 9 to lefties. We saw a salami out of Rafi Devers yesterday. Luis Ariz hits for incredible average, not gonna strike out. So maybe that's a little handcuff to consider. And then Casey Schmidt's been kind of on a tear lately as well. So the Giants are in a decent spot, I think, as far as run production. And then if we get Merrill Kelly to continue to lean more towards as a contact pitcher, I don't know, man. How do you have he has a 3-year rolling high on swing and strike rate, but his called strike is down 2%. So he's like literally one step forward, two steps backwards. 18% barrel rate is nuts. What are we doing? When a pitcher has the same barrel rate as like some of the best hitters, that's a problem. That's not what you want. Let them group dust. Let them play swords if they want to. Okay. Now I came here to look at Kelly something. Oh, it's stuff against. I really don't know what I came here to specifically look at. I guess I was trying to figure out why his swing and strike rate is higher, but his K rate's lower. But I guess that's literally he's lost command. Do we think Kelly is a case study for ABS? Is there something that tracks how many pitchers are getting their pitcher ABS stats? MLB, ABS challenge dashboard. Do we have pitchers that are losing? Oh, players right here. Okay. It's not showing pitchers. All right. I want to sim this game too and see if the Giants score more than 4 at a higher clip. I feel like they should. Then we'll also look at the 428. Yo, they got the Jake. Calm down, Jake. The half a run underdogs win 52% of the time, according to the Fangraphs sim with a 4.83 average run total. Luis Ariz with a 1.4 Average hit result there. Interesting. What do we do about this? I'll tell you what, the fact that the D-backs win the simulation that consistently, I don't necessarily take the D-backs money line, but I already had like a lean towards the D-backs scoring over 3.5 runs. Road team, chip in a chair, bloop in a blast. Do we think there's some room for regression on Roop's K rate? Yes, but he's walking lefties at a high clip. We know the D-backs can be aggressive. Where the D-backs at on stolen bases? Wanna be loved. A little below league average, but I guess let's open that up to. Because I think Carroll was injured for a strong stretch. He still has 6 stolen bases. Perdomo's at 8. I'm kind of leaning D-backs over 3.5 runs, y'all. Kind of like the Fangraphs got them winning the game 53% of the time. I'm not gonna take the money line here, but if you believe in the Fangraphs probability, it's certainly there. But man, is it just not offered right now? Hello, there it is. Over 3.5 at 50 cents. I'm super intrigued right now at this bet. Giant scores. Robbie Ray only went 4 yesterday. They had a stretch into Keaton Wynn, Matt Gage, Eric Miller, and Caleb Killian. So Matt Gage went back-to-back days. He's a lefty. I got a lot of lefties in this pen, but that doesn't really scare me. So let's take off. I mean, I guess technically all these guys except Matt Gage are probably live to pitch again. We didn't say. Did we say Peguero? No. Yeah, it doesn't really change much. I don't think. I'm kind of. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm effing doing it, bro. Give me Memorial Day D-backs. Run total over 3.5. 1. We'll do that. That's the bold. I'm compromising with the simulation. We didn't do a pitcher projection here, did we? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Merrill Kelly. I'm gonna give him 17% on the K rate. I'm gonna go 9% on the walk. We'll stick at 8. Let's go 17, 8. Roop. There it is. I don't know if I'm believing 20% overall K rate on Mr. Roop. But at 55 innings, I'll put him at a quarter. Quarter and 8. And then for outs, we'll let Vegas paint that picture. We can do anything if we put a mind to it. 17.5, 17.5. Give me their day splits. God dang it. 5.4, 5.9. Ernie's are. Actually, I literally have a page that pulls this. Oh, Kelly at 2.6. Roop at 2.33. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not taking a Merrill Kelly strikeout prop, but I was like, look at all this red right here. Not going to do it. Not going to be able to do it. Let's keep it moving to Cleveland. 6:10 p.m. I mean, we're not even. The sun is still shining for this Memorial Day baseball slate. Come on, let's start a new. We got Zach Littell, and his definitely will not tilt me lefty splits against the Guardians of Cleveland. I mean, there's just absolutely no way that Cleveland tilts me with their ability to be super lefty heavy against Littell, who should be starting for the All-Star Derby team. And this bullpen that is abysmal. There's just no way that this goes wrong, right? Zach Littell has a 7.46 expected ERA in 46 innings of sample size. That is not what you want. 13.6% barrel rate, a 5.8% swing and strike rate. Gotta be honest. If that was my pitcher, I wouldn't want it. Wouldn't want it. 83 stuff plus might be literally the lowest stuff plus I've ever seen for a starting pitcher. It's very possible. People say I got a drinking problem. Problem drinking. It's got a -1 WAR. Dude, Littell is. I'm seeing things I've never seen before. Is dollar value WAR converted to a dollar scale based on what a player would make in free agency? He would owe money. He would owe money, not just money, not like -2, almost was -8, bro. What are we doing? 5 innings. Of course, the Mets only play 2, but a 5+ xFIP and 3. Jesus H, bro. I mean, this is just like I can't even overthink Guardians, bro. Like I know, I just know. And one thing about how bad he is, at least he's not walking people at a crazy clip. Almost a 9% walk rate to lefties this year is higher than his last 2 years. But I mean, we're jumping in head first here on Guardians. All right, so let's load him up. I think we just go to town here. Lead off Pizzana, low ISO guy, kind of like the new Stephen Kwan, right? Hits for average, doesn't strike out, and Stephen Kwan is just like, hey, I remember me, I used to do that. So we're gonna go after definitely J Ram DeLauder. Definitely J Ram. He's Also pretty porous against righties. 15% K rate to righties. Last year, 16%. So if you're worried about less than 50 innings of sample size, even if he regressed or progressed, it's only gaining one. And that is something you might like if you want to dip into Rhys Hoskins' 180 ISO against righties, but are cautious on his K rate. Somebody was in chat asking for walk rates. I guess he doesn't walk people, but I mean, yeah, he doesn't walk righties. He does walk lefties a little bit though. I don't know. I think I just load up on Guardians and just if they don't all hit, that's cool. But J-Ram, DeLauder, and Hoskins are all looking pretty good. And then Nationals are backed by, I believe, a bottom three bullpen. I think Astros are one. Oh, they're bottom five. My bad. That's on me. My bad. My bad. So you get those quality at bats even if they knock Littell out. So let's get into some Guardians. How do we do it? I think I'm just gonna go 2, 3, 4. J-Rhyme, DeLauder. Chase DeLauder. We're gonna double up on all these guys unless we can get Rhys Hoskins at a reasonable price. You might be able to. I highly doubt Kalshi has Guardians up yet for player props. I got Nationals up. I got Stephen Kwan. Hello. Oh, J-Ram's up. J-Ram at 1.5 is 58 cents. That's probably gonna climb over 60, and then. Like I said, I don't mind 60 cents or less and not having to back it up, but I'm kind of there. I might only do a quarter on Reese at 2.5, but also might not do that if they give it to him, give it to us at less than 60 cents. They probably will. For Hoskins, we probably get that at like 54 cents. Just guessing. Hoskins is just not on the board. Oh yeah, okay. J Ram at 2. It's gonna be minus 160. We'll take that. Leadoff Azana is interesting. Like maybe you're chasing for a run, but little noodle bat. 130 for DeLauder. I might not have to go after 3 for him either. And then Reese just isn't on this list. What's that all about? Is this a Manzardo thing? Let's see. Reese Hoskins. They probably do start Manzardo then. It's Manzardo. But Hoskins has started 5 straight. Hoskins will stick in the lineup for the 5th game in a row, with 4 of those starts coming in at first base in place of Colin Manzardo. The 2 have been not now working in a platoon this season, but Manzardo has been on the bench for 3 of the Guardians' last 4 matchups with right-handed pitchers, despite having posted a 924 OPS since the beginning of May. It's unclear if Hoskins has usurped Manzardo as the Guardians' primary option at first base. It's possible that manager Stephen Vogt just wanted to give Hoskins a full slate of starts for a 3-game series in Philly where the 33-year-old spent first. So he gave him a revenge series. All right, that actually scares me. Like even if Manzardo starts, do the Nats have a lefty that they would bring in and they flip it? Uh, Lovelady, Mitchell Parker, and Alvarez. All right, I think I stay away from the first base situation. But Manzardo, I mean, if you slide Manzardo in there, I like that too. But that's probably assuming some risk. Although Manzardo might get himself, get that full game going. So we'll see what they do. But give me J Ram to Lauder. Yeah. That's not the worst stuff. Plus, dude, that's pretty atrocious though. Tanner, Bybee, 15% K rate to righties in 60 innings so far. Striking out lefties pretty well, 25%, a 386 xFIP, 200 average allowed. 1.4 home run per nine. That home run per nine has been steady Eddie the last 3 years. Aggregate 1.3, hard contacts up there. So if you can get into a lefty you like with power and doesn't strike out, you can attack that. Now, James Wood does strike out. He's usually the apple of a lot of people's eyes, but CJ Abrams has been killing it, and he is the type to give you a tough at bat and not strike out. So maybe CJ Abrams is the answer for the question of Tanner Bybee. And I was gonna say the Nets not a huge K team. But I was gonna say we maybe could have got a mispriced strikeout prop with Bybee's inefficient work to righties. I mean, we'll take a look anyway. No shot. It's like 3.5, right? Taking me out. The ordinary. 4.5 is the Goblin. So I think I'm at 5.5 then. Yeah, I'll stay away from that. All right, give me J. Ram Delauder. CJ Abrams makes the most sense to me if I wanted to grab something from the Nats. The average allowed and the K rate's enough to kind of spook me away from committing to it, but that's the guy I would lean on. He's just been going crazy this year. So 1 run differential. I don't know that I want to back Bybee for a first 5, but it would make a lot of sense to look at the Guardians' first 5. I like taking teams that are like a run plus favorite first 5 on Kalshi because you get decent enough numbers. Hello, Mari. Hello. Chad, anybody want to see the cat again? She won't leave me alone. The angels up in the clouds tell us no we found. Let's go with a 14 and 6.5. I mean, good lord. Bybee, 20% to an 8. $17.5 and 15. Gave me 3.8 strikeouts for Littell, 5.35 on Bybee. Give it up for Alex Warren. You ever listen to the live version of a song so often that you just like sing the parts where he's talking to the crowd? That's me in this song. You like Abrams 2+ homer per night, or excuse me, 2+ hits, runs, RBIs, 105. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't push back on that. I like Abrams more. Um, but that's just looking at the plug here. Let's go look at the bomb detector real quick. Now that we added a few more games. Juan Soto went to. Any other fun names coming up here? No. A lot of Mets up there all of a sudden. I don't say a lot of Mets, just him. I saw Pete Alonso. My brain took a second. All right, let's go Philadelphia taking on San Diego. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwab, Bryce Harper. The Padres. News came out yesterday that Fernando Tatis lost a lawsuit against, I guess, some investment firm that loans prospect athletes millions of dollars in exchange for a percentage. They invest, and you can invest too by emailing me. So I guess they gave him $2 million for 10% of his future earnings, and then he all of a sudden started making like 30, 40 million. He's like, wait a minute. And they're like, no, dude. Which I don't see what the like I would. That's what you sold it for, man. Do something with it. I'd probably do that deal. Like if you went from a nothing, you know. Although Fernando, maybe it's because of his pops or whatever. I feel like I don't know. A lot of people are using some extreme scenarios for that. But I guess if you got it in your genes. Four implied run total for the Phillies, 3.7 for the Padres. Let's go 28% carry rate here. He might get all righties except Jackson Merrill. Like, I doubt they put Gavin Sheets in the lineup for that. So we could lean into that 28%, 29, 30% carry. So we'll go 28 and 5.8, 20, I don't know, 5.9. F it did. Randy Vasquez, we'll go 20% and 7%. What kind of outs we working with? 17. We'll go 18 for Luzardo, 15 for Vasquez. And that gives us 6.2 Ks for Luzardo, 4.6 for Vasquez, 6 strikeouts for Luzardo. What's his line? I'm assuming that's going to be right on the nose. 7 plus, so a little conservative. Man, that's only a 20% carry rate against lefties lineup. But I didn't wake up today to bet against Luzardo strikeouts. Randy Vasquez has a 5.42 expected ERA, a 2.96 actual ERA. A lot of luck involved in his results, it would appear. We love Kyle Schwarber and Harper generally. We look at his lefty metrics here. The 0.61 homer per nine allowed to lefties seems like a lot of the luck, right? His barrel rate still it's a 3-year high. His hard contact rate is still 38+%. And it's not like he has like a good ground ball rate. I mean, his line drive rate's elevated 5% year over year. So, how does Schwarber grade out now that we've entered his name? He came in at 17% probability. I mean, Kyle Schwarber gets a contact pitcher, dude. It's just like, hey, I'm here. Same with Harper. They're probably going to be taxing it. These guys in their walks kill me on the hits, runs, RBIs, too. Randy isn't walking lefties at a super high clip, but these guys are just different. You got to be so careful with them. So what do we do with that? Nothing? Something? Let's see what they offer in terms of It's also like kind of crazy that this game is dang near a pick 'em in run total. So we might run a Fangraph sim here to see if we can get behind Philly's first five. But his runs, RBIs, Bryce at 1.5 is 50 cents. Schwarber at 1.5 is 50. It's plus money, dude. You just can't give me. You just can't give me this against Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper for even money or plus money. Like that seems wild. But every time I get excited to pick on the Padres starter, I gotta remember their bullpen's pretty good, and there's no such thing as a ninth inning of at bats if Mason Miller is involved. And Mason Miller probably did not pitch yesterday. That's the only thing you got to get to Mason Miller. Like, um, they went Ron Marinaccio, former Yankee great, Wandy Peralta, former Yankee great. So trash lefty, and Ron's all right. So Mason is there now. He's pitched in one of the last 5 days because of game script, and it's not likely that they waste him otherwise. But I guess that's why we get a little bit. But man, Luzardo versus Vasquez. I'm sorry, man. I'm feeling like we're pushing the other way. Let's go run that sim. What we deserve. Gonna watch some alien movies after the stream for dude. You're awake all the time, dude. It's impressive. Way down we go. I mean, Phillies win 55% of the time with a 5-run total. That's what my gut's saying too. Let's look at a 30% Schwarber return. That's wild. All right, I'm doing it, man. I just got to take the opportunity on those numbers. So we're going to go Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Hits, runs, RBIs. Over 1.5. I mean, to get this at even to plus money. And then let's go ahead and put Luzardo over Vasquez. So let's go Phillies first five. Way down we go. And we're just hoping that Mason Miller stays his butt on the bench. And I tell you what, since we looked at Schwarber and Harper, I mean, it's not like I'm running from Vasquez with a righty. Is Trey Turner also at a ridiculous line? Trey Turner, he's at 56, so that makes a little bit more sense. Ooh, okay. So I'm not going to force the Trey Turner one, but man, you're just not going to give me a contact profile against those two. Is San Diego the closest stadium to Vegas? I feel like I remember Harper being a Vegas boy. If you want to manufacture some narrative out of thin air. We did the projection for that. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to Texas. Astros. Jeremy Pena, Isaac Paredes, Jordan Alvarez, Christian Walker, Jake Myers, Braden Shoemake. Now, do we think that the origin of Shoemake was just Shoemake, or did homie's feathered ink pen run out of ink and it was Shoemaker? Because come on, what the is what is Shoemake? What are we even doing? Jock Peterson, Brandon Nimmo, Josh Young, Alejandro Osuna. This looks like a game that. Ew. Kumar Raka. Bad hitting beats bad pitching. That's something that I've gone on record as saying a lot. And today we got a pair of bad hitters facing bad pitching. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on the Astros. Astros against a righty. A lot of good WRC pluses since the beginning of last year. Kumar Rocker, 15% K rate to righties, a 63% ground ball rate. Against lefties, batted ball data is actually looking worse than last year with half the home run per nine, so probably due for some regression there. If this is DFS, I'm just clicking Astros and leaning on like Jeremy Pena, Jordan. Pena is like the most intriguing to me, but this ground ball rate that Rocker's got against righties is just enough to troll. And then inversely, with Tatsuya, lefties be smacking him. Other than Brandon Nimmo, who do we trust? It's also a small sample. So I'd probably lean into some Nimmo here. Nimmo's probably like the best hit for average, top 3, maximum at bat type of guy, and then behind Tatsuya is the league worst bullpen. So maybe I'm interested in something Nimmo. Certainly not interested in backing either pitcher from where I'm at right now. Let's go 24. Let's go. And now is a shot for empty walls. Shout out Hudson Westbrook. Let's go 8% there. What we got on outs? Oh. 15. Nimmo's tugging at me. Nimmo's having a solid year. Big league hitter. Had 268 against righties, 291 against lefties. I don't know. I would assume the roof is probably closed. I don't know. I feel like if I have to get somewhere, I'm on Brandon Nimmo. But am I forcing it? Am I forcing it? I'm gonna leave it alone for now. Zach Cole, Harper 1 run, looks tasty. You like that? Zach Cole 2 runs for 1,200 for cannabis and snacks money. Ron Marcino from the Karate Kid. No, Ron Marinaccio. He was a Yankees middle reliever for a while, and we kind of liked him. The Marlins of Miami going into Toronto. You guys ever want to make Raj mad? Word on the street is if you emphatically pronounce the T in Toronto, they don't like that. We're big fans of putting letters in our words and not using them. Yesterday, Vladdy left the game after getting hit by a pitch. So something to watch for the Blue Jays here. We got Jansen Junk taking on Trey Savage. 3.4 run total for the Marlins. 4.3. Oh, speaking of run total, Phillies are at 4, huh? And our simulator really liked Phillies there. Okay. Trey Savage, 28.7% K rate, has struck out lefties at a 1-4 clip. This is a guy that we haven't had a giant big league sample, but we have seen him in the playoffs at the biggest stage against the best teams, and he's kind of filthy. This Marlins lineup is all over the road as far as K rates go. There's nothing I want to back on the Marlins here. Conversely, Jansen Junk, Death Taxes, and Dalton Varsho in a great spot. At this point, I'm at the Varsho slot machine, dude. It's been 2 or 3 days in a row. I'm almost positive I'm going to refresh this bomb detector, and Varsho is going to be top 5. He's not. Thank you, Lord. No, he's in the top 10. He's at a 4.23 with a 17% probability to homer. Plus 490 would be a fair odds for that to happen. Not likely to get that. I'm at the slot machine right now. Actually, tell you what, his odds are shorter than or longer than I thought they would be. I got him at 490, and DK lists him at 478. So if nothing else, that's like in line. They got Vladdy at 594, but like I said, Vladdy's on injury watch. Am I about to put Varsho back on the slip? Am I about to do that? Ah. Goldfish memory, baby. 269 average to righties. 4 bombs. At home, 243. Yikes. Another good matchup. It hurts. It's painful, but you got to play the right play. And Jansen Junk is just 3 years in a row of serving it to lefties. I don't know what I want to grab, though. There's something there. Like, hits, runs, RBI is kind of what I'm leaning, but Blue Jays without Vlad. I don't know, man. There's something on Varsho. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna put that on the stove. Let it simmer. Let's get pitcher projections here. 17 there. Is Savage. Let's go 27 and a half. 5.5, you savage. 8.8. Dude, Big X the Plug is on the most random country songs. 17 and a half, 15 and a half. Let's go 18 and 15 and a half. That gives me 6.5 Ks for your Savage. I'm assuming he's going to be juiced at like 7 by now. He's at 6. I mean, that's still juiced. But 6 is what mine spit back. 6.5. So we could maybe pay for a push and hope for the best. And there's certainly room for more. And one thing I like so far is smaller sample. I don't really know what to lead, but if he could not waste pitches on these lefties that don't strike out, just get more strikeouts. I'm there for that. So maybe there's a Savage, but I feel like we are paying taxes on that projection. So let's just go with that. Something of our show maybe, and I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. I hurt myself today betting on our show to see if I still feel. It's the slot machine, bro. We're martingaling Varsho at this freaking rate. Rockies at the Dodgers, man. Here's a game that's certainly going to be a coin flip. Sterling Thompson. Not enough people named Sterling anymore, yeah? Sterling Sharp, Sterling Martin, Sterling Thompson. Let me text my old lady. Look out, shawty. Alexa, text. Oh, never. I'm going to get canceled just rambling. Dodgers have a 5.9 run total. We got Coors on wheels. Dodgers, so one thing we did get right yesterday was Dodgers. And I thought, like, sometimes when I'm so far different than Vegas lines, I'm just like, what do they know? I mean, Kyle Tucker was even money. All like Freddie Freeman, Kyle Tucker, they were like 5.5 fantasy points on Prize Picks, and I was just like, what? Why? That didn't make sense. Slammed it. Don't think we're gonna get that today. What are you gonna do? Tanner Gordon on the bump for the Rockies. GG, bro. 4.95 expected ERA. 3.15 Sierra. There you go. 15.5% barrel rate. Good luck, dude. Emmett Sheehan, 26.4% K rate this season, 3.98 on the expected ERA. A little bit unlucky versus his real ERA. Lefties has been getting into him, but he has a 3.38 xFIP to lefties, but the 280 average allowed and the 2.5 home run per nine is where we're expecting him to positively regress, and this should be a great spot to do that. This is a weak Rockies lineup, weaker when they're on the road. The guys we do like, Mickey Moniak, Tyler Freeman, and I think Moniak's hurt too. So this is a good spot for Sheehan. We might get behind some strikeouts, but I would imagine they're not going to come cheap. So let's go 22. I don't know what this 31% K rate to lefties is about, but I feel like I'm not believing it. Swinging strike rate's up a little bit. But that barrel rate's crazy. So let's go. I'm going to give him 21% on the K rate. I'll give him a little bit of credit. 21.5. And then inversely, Mr. Sheehan, give me that 26. Give me 6.7. Go get some outs. Oh, Sheehan oh my God, he's juiced on the over of 7 already. So we're not gonna catch a break there, are we? Seventeen and a half. I don't know what's going on with the Rocky situation. Let me see, Taylor Gordon, Rockies. Is this looking like a bullpen game? No. 6.1 innings against the Rangers, so probably not. But I don't know what to give him as far as outs. I think I'll just put 14. We're never ever betting on him behind nothing like that. So I'll just give him 14 and a half. And we'll leave it at that. All the Dodgers in play, 6 implied run total. Do we get a break on the Dodgers' first 5? $0.61. What if we took a spread? Win by 2 first 5 for 46 cents. I'll take the first 5 straight up. Dodges. You want to throw a quarter on Dodgers first 5 spread? So we'll say to cover 1.5. I'll put a quarter on it. Why not? All right, and then I assume all the Dodgers players are just gonna be juiced out of their friggin' mind. Freddie Freeman, dude, you give me the Dodgers 60%, so excuse me, 60 cents or less. I'm listening. I mean, again, Kyle Tucker. What am I missing on Kyle Tucker? This is exactly what happened yesterday, and he homered. It's just not like this isn't me trying to isolate matchups. It's a freaking 6-run total, and Kyle Tucker is Kyle Tucker. Like what? Um, I just don't know how to explain that. Like you're in the heart of the Dodgers lineup, and you're dang near even money to this. I guess the 232 batting average to righties, not great. I get it. I guess. Still a 104 WRC plus. That's crazy. Are we just like extremely unlucky on the BABIP? I guess we'll pull up his Savant. This is why we're looking at it. 280 BABIP. I mean, that's not good. So I guess he has been worth being this porous. This is why we looked this up. Yeah, just a 5.6% barrel rate. Okay. All right. I'm understanding. I'm getting it. I see the vision now, Vegas. I see it. Still has a 5.10 expected slug on the fastball this year. That's all he can hit, though. So here's your scouting report. Don't throw a fastball. Tanner Gordon, 43% fastball. Slider, curve. But his slider and curve both have negative run values, but that could be influenced by outside factors. But he's just not good. So I'm doing it, dude. I don't effing care. I'm doing it. Can't stop me. I'm running it back from yesterday. Give me all of them. Dude, literally, I think I take one through. Why? I mean, where do I stop? 1 through 6? There's not a single Dodger I don't want to take over 1.5 right now. I mean, I want to literally bet the whole team here because we're not getting plus money. But man, I just I mean, they should go crazy today though. So I'm just gonna shove, dude. Give me 1 through 4. Realistically, I don't expect them all to hit, but I expect the Dodgers to put up runs, so they could all hit. Um, and maybe we circle back some quarters on the 2.5s. That's probably the better way to do this, since there's vig on all of this at 1 unit. If I just ran it all at 2.5 quarter each, because one of these guys is gonna draw 2 walks. Screw me. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. If you wanted to go half a unit, sure. I'm gonna go quarter each. Doing it. All right, one game left on the docket. If you guys have made it this far on VOD, or if you're watching live, and you guys want to open up the spreadsheet, do your own research, or you want to support this little project we got going on, you see the info in the bottom of the screen right now. My email, my Twitter, DMs are open. If you just want to be a member, I'm going to launch uh, the premium Discord. But if you want to get involved, we're doing I've opened up this project to investors. And the idea is to build out a betting content media company backed by doing stuff like this, but then following up by making short form content, and capitalizing and distributing that through YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, You guys know that. You guys know the drill. I feel like the betting space needs less dub club losers, fake slips, and a little bit more content with flavor, like good information, good process, but a little bit of flavor, you know. And that's kind of my whole thing. So I'm working on I got a Google sheet going. The the betting space. If you look at just Google Trends alone, year over year, if you know what Google Trends is, you could look up like popularity of search terms. Look up MLB bets today. Today MLB bets. Look up today NFL bets. Today NBA bets, and look at the last 5 years, year over year. This industry's not going away, and the need for content is there. The want for content is there. So, I mean, it's a rodeo, and it's one of those quick, expansive niches that also has the highest CPM, the highest affiliate uh deal revenue, just so on and so forth. So basically what I'm saying is, I think it's a good investment opportunity. So if you believe in me and you believe in this, I am down to be bought. So if you guys want to invest in that, we did we're doing a 10K valuation. 5% is the minimum buy-in, and I'll probably keep the cap at 40% for now. And if we get enough short-term interest, I want to greenlight this thing, and I want to stay at my desk for 72 hours to build a website, learn Claude, convert all the tools that I've created over the years into websites, and build out this project. So we're there. We're right there. Just got to come up with a name. So email me or hit me up on Twitter if that's something that you would be interested in. I think the first thing I also need to do is make a Discord, and then at whatever percentage you buy in at, if you are interested to be an investor, we'll do that as your net revenue royalty, monthly on net revenue for the project. So I think that's probably, I'm like giving away a lot right there. Um, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get it off the ground. So Mariners and the Athletics, your last game on Memorial Day docket out there in Sutter Health Park. Aaron Savali, not Daryl Hernandez, is your Athletics pitcher. He's taking on Luis Castillo. Castillo, normally good against righties, can bleed red against lefties, an aggregate 5 xFIP against lefties since the beginning of last year, giving up power to lefties since the beginning of last year, actually forever. And this is an Athletics lineup that has some lefty power in a park that rewards power to both sides of the plate. So there's certainly a wide range of outcomes. For DFS, we call this one of those play both sides situations because Nick Kurtz, Tyler Soderstrom, could certainly. I think all eyes are on Nick Kurtz and even Carlos Cortez hitting for a good average. Fun little handcuff there. Both run totals are over 5, and it makes a lot of sense to be interested in the bats here. The Savali side is the side that I'm more likely to want to attack. 4.89 expected ERA this season, 16.5% K rate, power to both sides of the plate for 3 years running. Give me a team like the Mariners that my favorite play strike out a lot. Give me a team like the Mariners where you could take them out of their stadium, put them in a more friendly hitter stadium against a contact pitcher, and bad things happen to good people. So I've been at the J Rod, Randy Arozarena, Josh Naylor slot machine, but I'm there again today. And I think that's where I start. It's J Rod, Naylor, and Arozarena. I'm a little. I might over respect Luis Castillo, but just if we just we just don't look at this real quick and we focus on these numbers against left-handed hitting, I mean, that's screaming Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz does have a 28% K rate against righties, but we can trim that down here. We might even look at his specific pitch mix split there. So let me start with the Mariners side of things and type up J-Rod, Josh Naylor, Randy Arozarena. And I'm sure they're going to be juiced up. So do we have to double dip on 2.5? Scroll all the way down. Yeah, J-Rod. God dang, J-Rod is juiced up. So for J-Rod, for Naylor, a Rosarina, you're going to have to go up there and get him. So I think these lines are not going to be settled right now for me on the Mariner side, are they? So J-Rod is at 61 cents for 2. Rosarena is at 58 cents. I mean, like I'll stay in the 60 cents or less, which is probably what I'm gonna have to do for all of them. I don't know if I'm gonna get to over 2.5 for a Rosarena, but J-Rod absolutely. Definitely want to iron this out. Let's just go get a little investment in them right now for 2 hits, runs, RBIs. And I think for J-Rod, I'll hit the over 2.5 for him at a quarter. Honestly, a half a unit, dude. That's probably breaking a process here, but I mean the 5+ run total, yeah, I'm in there. What does that do for the bomb detector now that all the teams are in there? We got a couple fives bleeding out. A lot, a lot of freaking Dodgers up here. And then Seattle, Julio. Nah, they're not that high. But the Athletics bullpen's pretty porous. We can attack them. And then Nick Kurtz, where did he land in a bomb detector? He's up there. He's at an 18% probability, 458. Plenty of sample to be happy about. We want to look at Luis Castillo. Numbers against lefties. Yeah, fastball is 556 expected slug. Starting at 50% of the time, and we just know Nicky. Yeah, Nicky's a beast. So we want something on Nick Kurtz. Girl, our mama's best friends. Show her we 56 cents. That's a great handcuff to Cortez too. Cortez is like a late inning risk to be pinch hit for, and that's kind of bugged me a few times. The Athletics. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong team. Seattle. Seattle has Ian Seymour and Garrett Clevenger as the only lefties in the pen. Did either of them pitch yesterday? Not more than no. So there's some late inning risk on Cortez, but he's been good. Strong handcuff to Castillo. So let's go Nick Kurtz twice. And obviously it's going to be the 1.5 and the 2.5. 1.5 will go 1, 2.5 will go half a U. And I think we just have to be numb to the pinch hit risk on Cortez. Like, it just makes a lot of sense for that to be the handcuff here. He doesn't strike out. It's going to put the ball in play, and it's positive correlation to Kurt's RBIs. So we're going to do it. And he'll probably be, I don't know, I guess he'll probably be taxed too, but let's do it. Carlos Cortez. I get to lay you down, 'cause I can't love you more than my hometown. Dude, do we have 30 bets? That seems crazy. Dude, I just wasn't born with. If I had to lean who should win the first five, it's the Mariners based on Castillo, but honestly, that's not a lot of confidence there. We're just going to go for a shootout here in Oakland or whatever. And then let's fill out the pitcher projection here at Castillo. We're going to go 22 and 8. And then Savali, let's give him 18 and 7. I can't love you more. We don't have anything on Castillo's outs. So am I missing something on Castillo? May 19th, 2.1 innings pitched. What happened there? Did he leave with an injury? I don't care about his contract. What's that about? Bryce Miller will follow. So Bryce Miller could certainly come in and make things not as fun, but he is porous to righties. And Nicky Kurtz is just really good, so I'm gonna stick with that. But that's something we're tracking here. Let's keep let's say keep ear to the ground on Castillo Bryce Miller situation. And we'll just bet on talent from where we're at. All right, bomb detector has no sneaky names up here. I mean, Cedric Mullins. I don't know what that's about. That seems kind of crazy. A little revenge too. Kyle Bradish against lefties. I think that seems so weird to me that Mullins would be this far up. Probably because the Camden Yards is that good too. Lefties, MLB ballpark factors. Little revenge. Let's go 1 year update. Bat side, lefty update. I might have to neutralize that number a little bit. Actually, let's go 2 years. Here, Orioles is number 1 since the beginning of last year. I mean, maybe they're. I mean, I don't know. That's just too cute. But if you're a narrative better, And there's a little bit of justification in the numbers. I imagine Mullins could be one of their 800 to 1200 windows. It's probably not even on Calci right now, so why am I even looking? And there's a little potential weather in that game, so let's go. Mullins is plus 650. It's a little bit better than what the spreadsheet odds say it should be. Change my mind. Out of curiosity, we took Mullins out of Tropicana this year, put him in Camden. Nothing would be different. I'm not going to get crazy with that, but I just like to see sneaky names in the bomb detector. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. It's raining. Hopefully we did some good book cracking here at looking at this slate. Man, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me or watching. If you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to jump in Discord with me, or if you want to invest, you want to talk some ideas, whatever you got, twitter.com/gundacker. Email is, it's over there. It's over there. Appreciate you guys. Happy Memorial Day. Make good decisions. Enjoy the day, but make sure that you can enjoy tomorrow as well. Love you guys. Good luck. God bless.